I knew what I wanted. I just didn't think I was allowed to have it. Yeah. And this is the very thing that, look, for years, I would say a smaller version of my dream out loud, right? And it was a safer version of what I really wanted to make happen to me. A more acceptable version that sounded less threatening version, if I might add. And what's interesting is I generally convinced myself that that was enough. It's okay. What I desired and what I wanted was okay. Instead of just saying, look, I want to speak in bigger stages, right? I would say stuff like, oh, I just want to help people. I just want to like just share my thoughts and that was what how it was, right? So instead of saying I wanted to build something significant, it would be a case of, oh, I just want enough people or have enough booking just to get by and just, do the thing. And instead of admitting that I wanted visibility, I would shrink it down into I just wanted to be quite good at what my work, right? Quite good at what I do. And none of these things were lies. They just weren't the full truths either. Hopefully, I'm making sense. Because deep down, I wanted more. I wanted impact. I wanted freedom. I wanted to be seen. I wanted rooms I hadn't even entered yet. I wanted authority, expansion, reach, growth. You know, I wanted it. I wanted it all. And even saying that out loud back then felt uncomfortable. Just, it didn't feel right. It didn't sit right. And I think this is what quite a few people don't realize is that sometimes we don't ask for less because we lack ambition. Sometimes we ask for less because wanting more feels unsafe. Yeah, because somewhere along the line in the desire that or the things that we want, we've learned don't be too much. Don't get ahead of yourself. Be grateful for what you have already, like what you've got. It's okay. Who do you think you are that you want what? What are you talking about? Right? So now, even your dream now becomes filtered. Like, okay, who's listening? Who's watching? Who's like, how can I? We start filtering ourselves in the things that we're saying, like, oh, did somebody like look at me somehow? Like, what? Um, and this is the part that really hit me. Settling started feeling emotionally safe than the desire that I wanted. Just being okay so that, I'm cool. Because if I admitted that I wanted more, I really wanted, then I would also have to face if I didn't get it, right? So smaller dreams became protection. It became okay. It's like, oh, at least this I know hit. This I know I could get. This, that, I don't know. And I see this so much with my interpreters and capable professionals. They say things like, I just want to be confident. Really, what they're saying is, I want to be visible. And if it's like authority or to lead, to charge properly, to be respected, to build something bigger. Uh, Saying the real dream out loud feels vulnerable. Like when people hear it and it's like, whoa, like, Who you know? Who did she think he like what? And I think one of the biggest shift for me was realizing that wanting more didn't make me arrogant. It made me honest. And this is what identity work actually looks like in real life. Not the vision board, not the quote, not the pretending, but actually admitting the truth about what you desire. Say it, own it, be it. Because your life cannot only grow to the level of your nervous system believes you are allowed to have. If we don't truly believe those desires, even though we're saying it, it's not going to land. And for the longest time, mine was just trying to survive, not expand. So in this season, this is where we now get to really looking and home in on, am I just desiring this because of what people might think of me, of how I might be perceived, or they might think that, oh gosh, there's whatever. So maybe this is your reminder today that the problem might not be that you don't know what you want. That might not be the issue. Maybe the real question is, have you truly given yourself permission to want it? To want what you want? To really own it, regardless of what other people think, or regardless of if you think you're not capable. Because our desires, we don't really need to know the how. We just need to know what we want. And the how will figure itself out. The how will find its way to connect to us. Because when we have our reticular activated system on locked in, like like the radio back in the days when we had those knobs and you had to like tune into the frequency of I remember how like 93 point whatever, and you're like, yeah, you start hearing the music. When you get to tune in, when you declare what you want, then your brain can then start looking for that which you want and not looking for opportunity, things like that. But if your default mode network, the thing that is running the thing, does not believe that this is an ounce possible, or does not think that you can, it ain't happening. So you really have to give yourself that permission to want it, to desire it, and then work on match it the unconscious mind. So when you say, when you say something like, "Oh, I want this," and your mind is like, "Oh, really? How? Really? Are you sure?" What like that? That's the conflict. That's where the work is, and that's what we get to work on. So that what you're declaring consciously, the subconscious mind is like, yes, babe, let's go. Where we going? Let's do this. We're working on this one step at a time. Let's go. When everything is in alignment, that's where the magic happens. So if this landed somewhere real for you, leave a comment. I genuinely want to know what's the thing you've been quietly shrinking out loud. Let's have that conversation. I am Nene. We do this every single day. Remember that your voice matters and it's your time to use it. Bye for now.